It's 56 days to election 2020. Hello and welcome to your election headquarters. This is the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from Joy 99.7 FM in Accra at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including ATL FM, Cape Coast, Radio Max Takrade, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, Takwa Nsuayam MP asks police to ensure arrest and prosecution of persons who attacked his relatives, leaving one in critical condition.
There are other 4 guys who have been mentioned and they need to be arrested immediately. And they are around and the police can really get them if they want to get them.
We'll get the latest as the police arrest one person as it continues investigations, and some residents of Weja Old Barrier threatened to block a section of the Accra Cape Coast Highway after their homes and roads were flooded this weekend. They're demanding government action.
The DCE and the MP, and we're appealing to Nanado. This is election year. If he doesn't do anything about it, we are going to block the road and make sure that this thing is solved before election time. We are serious and we are not jokes.
And later in sports, Black Stars coach CK Akono promises improvement as Ghana takes on Qatar later today.
Also in this package, what will make a woman in her 30s marry a man who's almost a century old? We'll bring you the story of the couple with over 60 years age difference. We've got details, do stay. I'm Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Thanks for your company. The details now. Takwa Nsuayam MP George Mrikuduka says he expects the police to arrest and ensure prosecution of persons who attacked his relatives, leaving them with machete wounds. One person is said to be in critical condition following the violence linked to a chieftaincy feud. The police say they are currently holding one person in their custody. Western Region Police PRO DSP Olivia Adiku has been speaking on the police investigation so far.
National Command is investigating a case in which one Robert Amung, who is also known as Dato, caused harm a Dawuda Isaka. Dawuda Isaka, according to him, met Dato at a junction, called School Junction, within the dumping town, and apparently Dato had earlier on assaulted his brother-in-law, so he confronted him. Dato got annoyed and inflicted multiple wounds on his head. He was rushed to Wasasimpa Government Hospital. We went there to visit him. He's currently in stable condition and he's doing well. Dato has been arrested and he's in police custody.
You heard the Western Region Police PRO DSP Olivia Adiku. While the MP George Mrikuduka insists the attackers support one faction in a chieftaincy feud. He's been speaking to me earlier on television on the News Desk program.
Those who unleashed that mayhem on my family belong to a faction feuding chieftaincy dispute. So I wouldn't say what the police is saying is maybe right or wrong.
Okay.
We have the professional expertise to determine. So I wouldn't go into details because I've handed over the matter to them to professionally handle it expeditiously. There are other 4 guys who have been mentioned and they need to be arrested immediately. And they are around and the police can really get them if they want to get them.
You have the MP for Takwa Nsuayam, George Mrikuduka. Now, Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, will later today lead a parliamentary delegation to commiserate with bereaved family of the late Infantiman MP, Eko Kwanza Hayford. Mr. Hayford was shot dead by highway robbers last week while on his way from a campaign in his region. Police are still on a manhunt for perpetrators of the crime. Let's go on to the line for the very latest on investigations on this issue. Richard Kojanyako joins us. Richard, what has the police been telling you as regards their investigations?
So later this afternoon, the police will be embarking on some confidence building in the area in which this incident happened. They said that they want to do that to build some confidence and ensure that there are patrols on that particular stretch of the road because of the numerous cases of armed robbery on that particular stretch of the road. And
how have residents been reacting? Earlier, they masked up at the hospital, but what's the mood now?
Well, so now they are calm, but they are still calling on government to ensure that that particular stretch of the road that they have been complaining incessantly about is fixed in the memory of the slain MP. I visited the hospital a short while ago, and then these two drivers that were also affected, they are currently doing very well according to the medical officials of the Winneba Accident and Trauma Specialist Hospital.
Thank you very much. Richard Kodonyako is a Central Region correspondent. We also joined on the line by Director of Public Affairs at Parliament for some more details on that visit by the Speaker of Parliament. Thanks for your time, Madam Kate Addo. So what are we to expect with this visit?
I mean, it's the usual visits that we undertake when someone passes. That's our culture because we are Ghanaian, and also the fact that we work together. When someone passes, we usually go, or when someone loses a dear one, we usually go to commiserate with the family. And so that's what we are going to do. Already on Friday, the Speaker led the House to talk about his passing and how unfortunate it was and how we need to find ways of protecting the members of Parliament, general citizenry from, being involved in such unfortunate incidents. So basically, it is to go and express our condolences to the family and to let them know that they are in our thoughts and that we will do what we can to give our brother and colleague a fitting farewell.
And who will the Speaker be traveling with?
With the leadership, some directors of the Parliament, and then some members of Parliament, especially those that are from that area.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Kate Addo is Director of Public Affairs at Parliament, giving us details of a visit by the Speaker of Parliament and a delegation from there to the family of the murdered or killed MP for Infantaman. Now, Chairman of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee is allaying fears of growing sense of insecurity among the public following recent cases of robbery attacks, some of them resulting in the death of the sitting MP, the latest being the police arrest of 6 people in connection with an alleged attempt to illegally import arms and ammunition into the country from Turkey. The 436 pistols and 26 packs of ammunition, consisting of 50 pieces each in a pack, were found to have been concealed in personal effects made up of clothing, shoes and bags, among other items, and these were contained in a 20-foot container. Chairman of the committee, Seti Champon, says the importation of the arms, recent robbery cases and secessionist attacks in the Volta region are high on their agenda as they meet security chiefs ahead of the polls.
It is incumbent upon us to scrutinize the level of preparedness from the operative. And so that is one on our table. 2, we remember the people who were in the Volta region. It's a major matter of concern for our discussion. And then my colleague has also come to our door. And then our friends who we are still yet to identify who imported the goods, because the matter is still under investigation. I can't go too deep on that. Besides that, there are other pockets of armed robbery and other security infractions that have occurred during the period. We need, like I'm standing in to offer some assurances now, I also need further assurance to be able to consolidate on what I know and what I have spoken about in respect of my contributions as I run around and do my business as a rep of state and as a public servant. So it is incumbent upon us, and it is prudent that we update and improve upon our knowledge on our security, state of security as a country.
Mr. Champon says whatever is happening does not erode the work being done by security agencies to keep the country safe.
I must admit that when people get discomforted about recent events, it is justified. However, I must admit that we are enjoying some safety and some security in our jurisdiction. And I'll maintain that those that have occurred necessarily do not erode the gains we have made. And I am very much gladdened that at least the security services we were able to track.
You heard that Chairman of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee, Seth Ichampong. Away from security issues, some residents of Weja Old Barrier have threatened to block a section of the Accra Cape Coast Highway after their homes and roads were flooded this weekend. The floods reduced a section of the Accra-bound stretch of that highway from 3 lanes to 1, as about 300 meters of the road is covered with eroded laterite washed down from the Aplaku Hills. Maxwell Agbagba reports that aside from vehicles getting stuck in the mud, it's also damaged that section of the stretch.
So this stretch leads to Accra and is the main Accra Cape Coast highway. All of these vehicles are actually struggling to use just one lane of this stretch, which is more trouble at this point. Now, this is not what it was like previously. It was because it has become of the rains. And we've been standing here for the past 1 hour, and we've actually seen some vehicles, stuck in this mud. And it has caused some kind of traffic situation for people who are going to the central business district. When they get to this part, they would have to take their time, to use it. And the 3-lane stretch reduced to just 1. I have some of the residents and motorists here who are very upset about the situation. My name is William. I've lived here for a couple of years. You can't use the road anymore because there's a lot of sand coming from the upper part of the road, which is disturbing the people in the community. And I believe that this is an intercontinental road, which we need to do something about it. So we believe that the DCE and the MP, and we are appealing to Nanado. This is election year. If it doesn't do anything about it, we are going to block the road and make sure that this thing is solved before election time. We are serious and we are not jokes. This is what we are saying. And it's unfortunate. The ministers are aware about it because they have been plying the road all the time. And we've been talking about it all the time, but they don't do anything about it. Let me speak to another man who lives here in this community.
And if we red top, Nina Bahase, and a convert, 15 years in one we had no maybe there be in sort of one back, one more, no more, no more, unconcerned.
Maxwell Agbagba there speaking to some residents of Weja Old Barrier. Maxwell has been monitoring the situation. He joins us online. Maxwell, what more have you learned?
Well, Bernice, the residents have been telling me the erosion on the Weja Kaswa Ridge is what has aggravated their woes. They say anytime it rains, it washes the laterites, they take mud from the top of the hill into the drainage system. They get choked, and that is what floods the busy highway and the homes here. At the Atala area, I visited the home of an octogenarian who has not been able to step out from her house since Friday because her home is covered in mud. She takes solace in the fact that she lives in a 1-story building where the flood water is unable to reach. But businesses, banks in the area are not spared. In fact, we monitor the traffic flow on the Kaswa Accra stretch, and it's difficult for some vehicles, actually. We've been trying to reach the MPE. We've tried many times to reach him, but we are unable to get in touch with him. We've been speaking to the Weja MP, Tina Mensah, who tells us that her constituency shares boundaries, with the affected area. She's aware of the problem, and she's trying to help them fix it.
Maxwell Agbagba reported from Weja Old Barrier. Still on roads, the chiefs and people of Yara, a farming community in the Kintampo North municipality of the Bono East region, have directed EC officials not to come to their community on December 7 for the general elections. The road connecting the community to its district capital is in a deplorable state, and this, according to the people, is because successive governments continue to neglect them after earning their votes. Correspondent Anas Sabet was in the community. Here's his report.
Chief of Yara, Nana Yao Joseph, reiterated how politicians continuously neglect the people, even though they do visit to campaign each electioneering season. They give several promises, but they never fulfill any of these. He stated that the people are tired of empty promises and as a result will send away EC officials who will be sent to the community on December 7. No one should come here to campaign this year. In fact, we shall destroy ballot material that will be brought here by the Nana Yarahini stated that the construction of the road network before the elections is the only thing that will convince the people to vote. are not part of the country, no one should step here to campaign. We will show you that we are also here. We are not voting until we see machines on the road before the 2020 election.
That was a report filed by Anasabit. This is your election headquarters, and it's 56 days to the polls in December. The New Patriotic Party has intensified campaign in areas where its members have broken away to contest as independent candidates. First day of Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's tour of the Ashanti region focused on Fomena and Bekwai constituencies, where some independent candidates are gaining roots. Labour firm's Nana Yaujima was with the Vice President and filed this report.
Regional Chairman of the NPP, Bernard Enchubo-Siako, is championing the agenda to win all seats in the region for the party. He explains efforts to make Akwesi Amofajiman rescind decision to contest Deputy Speaker of Parliament Joseph Osewusu for the Bekwai seat in both NPP primaries and as independent candidates. I brought the former IGP, Patrick Echampong, to speak to him to reconsider his decision, but he refused. I brought pastors, chiefs, and former Ashanti Regional Chairman Yao Amankwa to speak to him, but he didn't listen. I made the president call him, but he never honored his invitation. Interestingly, Bekwai constituency voted incumbent MP Joseph Osewusu to Parliament as independent candidate. The story of Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah and how he lost Bosomtwi seat to Deputy Education Minister Osei Yao Educhum is the party's example for members going independent. The pain I felt after being defeated didn't make me contest as independent candidate. I worked with him for the party. I wouldn't have been a regional minister if I had put my interest first. At Fomena, incumbent MP Andrew Amankwa Esiama is contesting the seat as independent after failure to contest primaries due to what he says is unfair treatment by constituency party executives. Not just politicians, but traditional authority are unhappy with his candidature. Nana Kwesi Anawu II is linguist for the Fomena Traditional Authority. We wanted him to reconsider his decision to contest as independent, but we learn he has filed his nomination, and we are not happy with that. Meanwhile, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia introduced the Fomena candidate Philip Ofori Asante to the Traditional Authority. This is our parliamentary candidate for the constituency. We don't support independent candidates. I know him personally as a banker when I worked with the Bank of Ghana. He's a credible candidate. For Joy News, Nana Yaujima reporting.
With less than 2 months to the December polls, the opposition NDC is leaving nothing to chance as it battles for the hearts and minds of Ghanaians. The party is stepping up efforts and embarking on a door-to-door campaign from various locations today. We'll bring you more on that in our subsequent bulletins. And after 6 successful elections in the Fourth Republic, many Ghanaians yearn for a real third force that will break the duopoly of the NPP and NDC while the two parties grow stronger. The chances of other political parties such as the Convention People's Party CPP, People's National Congress PNC and the Progressive People's Party PPP continue to remain bleak, mainly due to financial and logistical constraints. Well, ahead of the December polls, your election headquarters puts the lens on the minority parties and assesses their prospects beyond the latent roles they play in pushing elections into runoffs. We start from the camp of the PNC. Manuel Kranting reports.
Founded by ex-President Hillary Liman in 1992 as Ghana returned to multi-party democracy, the People's National Convention was set up as a vehicle that would hopefully deliver the presidency back to Liman after the 1981 coup.
I call on all in the true spirit of patriotism to come together as one united country, determined to solve the many and difficult problems facing us. All of us have a duty to work to salvage our shattered economy and regain the lost image and prestige of Mother Ghana.
Unlike his performance in both rounds of the 1979 elections which won him the presidency, Hillary Liman, who led the PNC in 1992, managed 6.7% of total ballots cast, winning in only 5 constituencies across 3 regions, Upper East, Upper West and the Western region. In contrast to his plan of recapturing power, Liman's abysmal show in 1992 will set a tone for the performance of the PNC in subsequent elections. In 1996, the party fielded a new flag bearer, Edward Nasigui Mahama, but its electoral woes deepened as it managed just 3% of total votes cast, less than half of Liman's tally in 1992, and losing all the 5 constituencies in the process. Over the years, Edward Mahama's new beginning, new deal, new force mantra on job creation did not help the PNC garner the much-needed votes.
My campaign theme is New Beginning, New Deal, New Force. The new force, I'm looking at the 18 to 35-year-olds. The majority of Ghanaians right now, but they feel helpless. They're unemployed. Look, national service, almost 500,000 of them from 2000 to now, unemployed.
The party managed to win the Bilsa South and Sisala West constituencies in 2008, but later lost the Sisala West seat. With its 2 seats in parliament reducing to 1, this trend will continue even after Edward Mahama was replaced by Hassan Ayariga, who obtained 0.22% in the 2012 elections. After the 2016 elections, the party made several attempts at merging with other Nkrumah's parties in a bid to boost their electoral fortunes. But Mona, who was party chairman at the time, was optimistic.
We are taking stock of our abysmal electoral performance. We want to move forward to see what we can do as a political party to attract the confidence of the people of Ghana, to see us as the next alternative. We have already initiated processes talking with the Progressive People's Party. We are also talking with the Convention People's Party. They are serious with mobilizing like minds so that we can have a united front.
Having failed to secure that merger, what political scientists argue could give a real chance to a third force in Ghana's elections, newly elected flag bearer of the party, David Apasera, is calling for renewed confidence in the party ahead of the 2020 polls.
I am going to work hard and let Ghanaians know that PNC is a vehicle that can carry you to the Jubilee House. We are going to hit the ground running. So I call on those who had given up hope that the vehicle is awake again and we are driving at the 5th gear so that we can catch up with the others.
Can the PNC's vehicle really catch up with the elephant or blow away the umbrella? December 7 has the answer. For Joy News, Manuel Kranting.
Well, later this week, your election headquarters will, in collaboration with the Imani Center for Policy Education, hold a minority political parties debate live from the UPSA Hall. Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, joins me with more on this. Evans, so there are some who have written off the minority parties. Tell us what this debate seeks to do.
Okay, so this debate is to, in essence, bring in the diversity. I mean, there's a point in the report that we just had that shows that the minority political parties collectively, in times in our history, both in 2000 and 2008, have the capacity to move the elections into a runoff. Now, it's in the atmosphere of the diversity that you get to hear which other views are there. So we're going to bring them together. I'm really looking forward to this because we have Hassan Ayariga on the same stage with Ivor Greenstreet, Apasera, Bridget Jogonuku, and all debating the real issues. And we expect this to be a very rigorous interrogation of the ideas, especially the manifestos that they've already put out.
All right, Evans, so just quickly tell us when and what time to catch you live on this debate.
Thursday. This is going to be on Thursday. It's going to be from the UPSA main auditorium, and it's from 8 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM and the Joy News channel as well, also on Love.
Evans Mensah is head of our political desk. This is the Midday News with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Still to come, what will make a woman in her 30s marry a man who is almost a century old? We'll bring you the story of the couple with over 60 years age difference.
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Clenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aflao. In the Eastern region, we're on K-Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrot FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Thank you for staying here on the Midday News with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. It's now time for sports, and Hans has something very interesting.
Well, Bernice Kono has promised a better showing this afternoon when the Black Stars take on Qatar. Ghana lost 3-0 to Mali last Friday in Sikia Akono's first game as head coach in a performance many have described as poor. Akono has however promised improvement in this evening's clash against the Asian champions.
Well, our approach is going to be different. First of all, when against Mali, we were not compact. I'm looking forward to improving that area, to be compact, and of course, how we approach, how we attack in the way of offensive. It was not effective. We need to improve in that area, and of course, defensively, we allowed too many chances to the opponent, and that we worked on yesterday. We discussed it today. We're going to continue and work, and hopefully, we will see a lot of improvement. I'm very, very positive about that we will improve in that area. I mean, the total team. Then it's up to the playing body also to embrace it and work towards it. That has been the message.
That's Black Stars coach Siki Akono, and he's made 5 changes to the squad for this evening's game. Goalkeeper Razak Abalora has been given the chance to start in post ahead of Lawrence Atizigi. Youngster Benson Anan will play at right back with Gideon Mensah maintaining his place. Alexander Jiku, who was deployed in midfield against Mali, moves to central defense to partner Joseph Edu. And he, of course, replaces Nicholas Opoku. Baba Idrisu in midfield replaces Bernard Mensah, and he partners Thomas Tepate to provide cover for the back line. Saudi Arabia-based winger Samuel also makes his way into the starting lineup for tonight's game. Bernice.
Thank you very much, Hans. It's now time for entertainment. And you know, it's your election headquarters. We would always find a way to bring you something election-related.
Yes, Bernice, Musician Medical joins the Joy Peace campaign, calling on all Ghanaians to be peaceful come December 7.
No matter who you vote for,